What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be test fitting our new M3 style front fenders. I just went ahead and took the shit apart. I'm not going to bore you guys with that, but pretty much I'm surprised it was on the right way, honestly. But yeah, we're going to be test fitting the fenders and do anything we need to make these things fit right. So as mentioned, these are M3 style. I don't like the fact that they say M3 because this is not an M3, but if I can find a little cover or something for that, cool. If not, no big deal. But today the main purpose is getting these to fit on, but we're not going to be mounting them. They just have to bolt on in the right places. So with the little test fit, it clearly does not sit as I want it to sit. There's a crazy gap there, but there's also a trim piece missing from there, which that has to be purchased as well. Yeah, this gap is very large, and even when I push that back, it doesn't sit right on the front fender or on the front part. It actually doesn't fit as bad, but clearly right there is the issue. So I went ahead and marked in some Sharpie right there what needs to be cut, and from there I can hopefully get this to fit a little bit better. I never really did body work, so this is all kind of new, but I'm gonna say if I'm able to trim this out and get this to fit, this, like having these two meet up, would be the next task. Right after doing a lot of trimming, because it clearly don't fit well, we got this to fit a little bit better. I just popped that in, but once we screw on the entire fender, it's only held on right now by one bolt, but once you screw on the entire fender, we can get an idea of where we can get these to sit. Obviously the bumper's sagging a bit because it's not connected, but once that's connected, everything is bolted up. It should be good. I'm thinking to cover this gnarly looking gap, I'm gonna have to use some sealant, like the black sealant, and just go around it like that, so it's nice and clean looking, and you don't really see the jacked up edges like that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna drill the hole that goes into there, because right now it's only mounted there. So I'm gonna drill the hole that goes into there so I can get a better idea of what needs to be done, and then come back. With that bolted on, it does sit a bit better. Like I mentioned, I'm still going to use the black sealant, the gasket maker. That way it looks a lot cleaner. These have no function. As you saw in the last video, the fog lights are pretty much this. So these have no functions. They won't come out anytime soon unless the headlights are being changed. So with that being said, sealant, and then we're gonna go ahead and focus on this side. So for the back of the fender, this side is not really as bad, but there is like a large gap there, and there also is a trim piece missing from here. So when we get that trim piece, it'll extend out past here, so that gap will be covered. Now another big gap is this right here. I have no idea why they didn't like just add that little part there, because on the other side you can see that they have that little tip thing right there. So I don't know how we're gonna go about that. Honestly, may just end up leaving it, because I can always swap out the put the new or the OEM fender back on and get rid of this if I don't like it. But other than that, like, it fits fairly okay. Nothing, it's not like spot on like an OEM one would be, but we got to work with what we got. So I'm gonna move on to this side. I actually am just gonna take this piece off and sit it on the fender. It should work a little bit better than having to like trim it by eye. So I'm gonna do that and see where we end up. When we line this up like this, you can see exactly where it needs to be cut. Right there, it needs to be trimmed down. That way this can fit in there nice and snug. Okay, so we got this trimmed out and it fits significantly better. We're gonna put the black silicone around the edges and that should hide the nasty marks. Okay, so this side is on fairly easier. I'm having a problem with this. So the gap is minimal, but I think I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, since when I open the door hits on the fender. So if I just push it in a little bit, so this is what it looks like in all the way, but it won't be like that. I'm gonna have it out just like that. That way there's a slight gap all around and the door can open and close without any issues. So I actually went ahead and took a molding piece off of it just to see. I was curious. I wanted to see if it'll fit on here, and it kind of does fit, but at the bottom it'll need to be trimmed. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill some pilot holes, let's say right there, and I'm gonna cut it off where it needs to be cut off. All right, so the trim piece is on. I'm not gonna push down all the way because it actually does catch on the little clip. So I'm gonna clean that up. Once it's time for paint, these will be painted as well. Yeah, may as well paint these. So these will be painted as well, but I'm gonna throw on some double-sided tape on here just so I can have that extra level of security, because I do not need these flying off. All right, guys, it is a couple days later. I ended up doing a little bit of body work on there, primed it. I was able to get these trim pieces from that to fit on there nicely, along with these grills painted. It says M3, I just covered the M3. I'm probably gonna put something there later, but these fit on to the new fenders perfectly fine. So I got my paint. It is the paint code for titanium silver, which that car is. So we're gonna spray this down. But before I do that, I'm gonna have to put those trim pieces onto there. All right, we got our molding piece on. I ended up using double-sided tape, like the really industrial shit, so it does not come off whatsoever. It says it holds up to 60 pounds, 60 something pounds. So that should be good. Gonna shake this up, get it cracking with our first coat, and see how it comes out. Okay, we got our first coat down. It's pretty light, but they are in somewhat of a similar shade. So that has the 2K on it. This obviously doesn't, but this is only the first coat, so we got 2 more coats left. Okay, fast forward, we have our 3 coats on. It is nice and covered all around. So I'm gonna go ahead, put this to dry, and then I'm gonna start on that one. So both fenders have been painted. They are looking very nice. Very, very nice. So last step would be to take our 2K clear, which we have right here. It has the hardener on the bottom, so you pretty much take that red cap off, put it on the bottom, you like press it in and give it a nice little shake, and then you can begin spraying. But before we do that, I'm gonna let this chill here for maybe 30-40 minutes and come out, wipe it down, make sure it's all clean, and then hit it with some 2K. All right, it's been a cool 45 minutes. We are gonna hit these with our 2K clear. That does look kind of funky though, but it indeed is just the lighting. So we're all good with this. We're gonna hit these with our 2K clear. This garage is a mess, yo, Jesus Christ, but I'm gonna fix that another time. Let's get down to it. Also, I noticed this is coming out, so nothing a little heat can't fix. So you heat that up, just press it down. It is double-sided tape though, so that's no worries. All right, like mentioned, take our 2K clear, and we are going to press down on the catalyst. I've used this stuff quite a bit. Jesus. There we go. You'll know it's good when you hear a pop. Just want to get all that in there, shake it up, and then we're ready to paint. Okay, 45 minutes have wow, I can't speak. 45 minutes has passed. Let's get a little touch. Okay, looking nice. So I'm gonna throw on another coat on that one and this one. Cool. I'm gonna say one more coat each to you know, seal everything up and let it sit for maybe 2-3 hours or so, and then we're gonna go ahead and throw it on the car. All right, so we got the fender mounted and on. So this bumper situation, I'm gonna need a new bumper anyway, so I didn't really bother putting too much work into it. But in the meantime, I am gonna make a straight cut down like this. That way this part is not poking out. So yeah, that's gonna have to be addressed. But yeah, I'm honestly not too happy with how this shit is fitting. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. All right, guys, we got both fenders on. I'm not gonna lie, I will most definitely be putting the factory fenders back on because I do not like these at all. That side is not bad. It's just this side is getting me like super tight, and I closed the hood and I already cracked the fiberglass. So I'm like, oh, I'm just done with it. And to be honest, it does not even look solid. Maybe if I put spacers on the rear, maybe, but yeah, I am not feeling this setup whatsoever.